Oh. So good afternoon to all of you. I welcome all of you for this last session for today's. So today we'll try to send our uh, temperature and light data to the cloud, and we'll try to capture that data through the app. So on tomorrow we have a scientist from Siri Pilani, that is Satyam Srivastava, is going to give a one hands-on session for how to develop mobile application or Android application to monitor the this data. Okay, so today we'll try to send the data to cloud. Uh, so as we do not have any hardware right now, but still the Tinkercad provides one facility to add the Wi-Fi device. So through that Wi-Fi device, what we can do, we can send that data to, we can send the data through that Wi-Fi device to any cloud, and then we can visualize or we can monitor the data on the clouds. So this is what the PDF I have shared with you in a WhatsApp group. So you just copy this link and go to your browser and paste it. So already most of you have a login on a Tinkercad. And then click on this. Either those who are new to this Tinkercad today, they can click on a sign up and then copy. Those who are already have a login to the Tinkercad, they can sign in and then copy. And those who are already logged in, they can directly click on uh, copy and tinker this. This is a hands-on session, so I request all the participants, if you have any queries, they can directly unmute themselves and ask the queries. Now once we click on a tinker this, it will open the file like this. So I have come up with the same circuit that we have used yesterday. Only the thing that I have removed from this is I have removed the LCD display, because I do not want to view that data on a locally. I would like to view that data through the cloud. Okay, so I have added the LDR and temperature sensor as it is there. Only extra part that I have added is this Wi-Fi module. This Wi-Fi module is a ESP8266. So basically, the Tinkercad has removed the support for this Wi-Fi module, but already, just like you have copied the my file, so now it is possible to simulate such type of modules. But ideally, if you search such type of module in the components, you will not find the Wi-Fi module here. So you have to copy this module from the previous circuit designed by somebody else. So you see here, this is the Wi-Fi module, and it has 8 pins connected. Out of these 8 pins, you'll see here, some pins are going to this RX and TX, and then few pins are going to power. One is going to 3.3 volt and one is going to ground. So only 4 pins we are used out of this ESP8266. So let me see how many pins are there and what is the use of that pins. So what is the first pin is that this is a TX. So this TX pins of your ESP8266 is directly going to the RX of your Arduino. So what actually we are doing here, we are reading the data. So Arduino is reading the data from LDR and temperature sensor. Okay, and then through this RX and TX, that is a UART port, it is sending to this Wi-Fi module. Yeah, Vipin Gavaiji, do you have any query? And then what we are doing through the UART, we are sending that data to this Wi-Fi module. And this Wi-Fi module is now going to connect with the internet, or say we can say the hotspot or any gateway. And through that gateway, it is connecting to the cloud host, and then sending or uploading that data continuously on that cloud. Okay, so that is what actually we are doing here. So today we are going to use the cloud ThingSpeak. So we are using the cloud ThingSpeak. Most of you already know about this ThingSpeak cloud, because as uh, most of you are from the electronics background and some of you already work with the IoT projects. So already you know that there is a one cloud that is called as ThingSpeak. The one of the advantage of the ThingSpeak is that it supports the HTTP GET request. And due to this, by sending just one link to this ThingSpeak, it uploads the data on its cloud. Okay, there are many clouds available, but out of this, there are very few clouds which supports the GET and SET HTTP requests. So what is due to this, now we are going to use this ThingSpeak for our application. Why actually now we will say that on Arduino you can use any type of cloud. Yeah, that is absolutely true. But the thing is that if you would like to use any other clouds, then we have to add that specific libraries in the cloud programming. But the problem is that in Tinkercad we do not have a support of most of most of the libraries. So you know that when we click on a code, and you see that when we click the libraries, we do not have any support of any cloud library here. So due to this, we have to write a program in such a way that it should have either the commands which are required to connect with the Wi-Fi gateways or to upload the data on your clouds. So the best way is to connect your cloud or through some HTTP request, because for to send the HTTP request we don't need any type of libraries in the Arduino. So that is what we are using the ESP8266 in such a way that we are not using any type of library here. Okay, and what is the advantage of your ThingSpeak? That it has the HTTP GET SET request acceptance. So due to this, we don't need any type of library here to upload any data on a ThingSpeak. Otherwise, if you use the cloud platforms just like Adafruit, or we have Google Cloud is there, or any other clouds are there, the problem is that whichever the clouds which supports the MQTT level data transfer, then we have to add the library in our Arduino. Okay. Fine. So let me try to see what are these connections mean. Remember that this ESP8266 Wi-Fi board or this chip works on a 3.3 volt. Even it transfers the data to the Arduino with the 3.3 volt. Okay. So now you see here the power applied here is 3.3 volt. So ground is as it is, but the power applied is 3.3 volt. Now what is the concept here again? That the data transfer from this ESP8266 towards the Arduino is also 3.3 volt level, and the data received from your Arduino towards this ESP8266 is also 3.3 volt. Now while transferring the data from ESP8266, that is the Wi-Fi module, to the Arduino, then we do not have an issue because it is transferring the data 3.3 volt. Okay, so we are transferring the data 3.3 volt, it will go to 3.3 volt level to the Arduino. But the problem is with when we send the data from your Arduino towards the Wi-Fi, because the Arduino data levels are 5 volt, whereas the data levels required for the Wi-Fi module are 3.3 volt. So what we did here now, we added one voltage divider network here. So this is one 10 kilo ohm resistance, and this is the 20 kilo ohm of resistance. So your total voltage at this point will be 10 divided by 30 kilo ohms. So that will give you the 3.3 volts. Okay, so 10 divided by 20 multiplied by 5. Okay, so just a minute. Sorry, actually it is not like this. This is connected to ground, so this one will be 20 divided by 30 into 5. So that will be your 3.3 volt. So therefore we are applying the 3.3 volt through this transmitting line. So it means that though there is a 5 volt from this transmitter line of Arduino, but at the time of receiving to the Wi-Fi module, it is receiving 3.3 volt. Okay, so simply voltage divider is used here for voltage level shifter. I request all the participants, if you have any queries, then you have to unmute yourself. Otherwise, please mute the mic. Now, this first line is connected to the RX pin. So, the transmitting pin of the Wi-Fi module is connected to the receiving pin of the Arduino, and the transmitting pin of the Arduino is connected to the receiving pin of the. So here it is connected. So it is the receiving pin of the Wi-Fi module. Okay, and now these are the some pins. This is the enable pin, then reset pin, and then there is a power pin is there. So all these pins, that is the power, reset, and enable pin, are connected to the 3.0 volt. Then we have a GPIO 0 and GPIO 2 pins are there. These are the two extra pins over this Wi-Fi module, and through which we can control some of the LEDs and other pins. But now we are not going to control today any device as an actuator. So we left these two pins, that is the GPIO 0 and GPIO 2, unconnected. And there is only one pin remaining, that is the ground. So this is connected to the ground. So this one pin is connected to ground. This pin is connected to the transmitter. Then enable, reset, and then this power pin are connected to the 3.3 volt. Whereas this RX pin is connected to the TX pin of your Arduino through voltage divider network. And then with respect to your sensor, so we have used TMP36 sensor as a temperature sensor and LDR for detecting the light. So you'll see here one pin of this complete circuitry is connected to the temperature VCC, and one is pin of this resistor is going towards the ground. So actually we can say that the LDR and this resistance are making a one voltage divider network, and the voltage divider value we are reading from the terminal which is connected at LDR and resistor. So this is the point at which we are reading the value. So at A1 we are reading the LDR value, and at center pin of your TMP we are reading the temperature value. Now what is our task is here? This Arduino must read the LDR value and the temperature value, and it has to send that these values to Wi-Fi module, and this Wi-Fi module has to get connected with the ThinkSpeak, and it has to upload all these LDR and temperature values on the ThinkSpeak. Fine. So already I have a login, so I'll check here my login. I'll show you first how this data is going to upload so that you can understand. See here, let me. This one. Yeah. So if I start simulating, and if I go here and if I check my channel, okay. Now you see here this data coming from your Wi-Fi module. So let me see whether it is going or not. So this is what the data. Yeah, it is going to the ThinkSpeak. Let me check. Yeah. So you see what is the latest entry is there, 4:56. So that is what the time here, 4:56. So that is what the reset entries we are getting. Right. And what I have did, I have made one app through a MIT App Inventor. So you see here, I have developed one app, and by which Okay, what I will do, I'm going to share this app to WhatsApp group. So if you would like to use that app for your application purpose, you can use also. So I have shared the APK of that app in a WhatsApp group so that you can install that. So that app is not going to access anything of your mobile. You just remember that it will ask a permission to install that app. So once you install it, whatever the permission that you have given to your WhatsApp, that you have to restrict again. Okay, so let me see how this Wi-Fi module is sending data to this cloud. So what you have to do, you have to open the account on a ThingSpeak. So just go to thingspeak.com and so this will open the website like this, and here is a tab for login. So just click on it, and it takes some time. So now it is asking for if you are already registered. Okay, if you have already registered with the MathWorks, that is a MATLAB account. So if you have a MATLAB account, that email directly you can use. But if you are not registered with the ThingSpeak or the MathWorks earlier, then you just click on this. That is a no account and create one. And click on this create one. Then it will ask your email address, then location, first name, and then continue. And the same procedure is there to open the account for any other clouds or any other websites. And then it will ask the password and everything, and it will send email to your registered email ID on this account, and you have to verify it. Once you get verified, and then log into this thing. If you have any queries, you can ask that by unmuting yourself. Now, once you log in, then what you have to do? Shall I continue, or would you like to open your own account? So what we have to do, we have to go to the channels, and once we go to the channel, so once you come to this website, there is a one button it will ask, that is a new channel. So click on this and give a name to this channel. Just like I'll say AICTE DP IoT data. Okay. And description is there, reading data from Arduino. Picture and light. Okay. Now, as we have two data coming from your Arduino, that is, one is the temperature and the light. So what we'll do, we'll create a two field set. Okay, so one will be the temperature and another will be the light. Okay, so we have a field 1 which will store the values of temperature, and we have a field 2 which will store the values of light. Okay, don't do anything with other fields. We'll just take the example of it and then click on save channel. Fine, and then it is going to open the charts like this. We have a different widgets are here to visualize our data. Just like if we click on this add widgets, we have a gauge is there, lamp indicator is there, then numeric value is there. So any widget you can use for the purpose of visualizing the data. So we'll keep the chart as it is. You can also export complete data in a CSV file. Also, whatever the data that you are going to receive, we have a MATLAB analysis is there. So through the MATLAB, we can analyze that data. So whatever the machine learning or AI based computation that you have done, so that you can add in this MATLAB analysis, and so that any decision based calculation can be performed here. So let me see how the code is going to work with this ESP8266. So what actually we are doing here, what are the data that we are receiving from this sensors in Arduino? This Arduino is going to send it to the cloud through this Wi-Fi module. So this Wi-Fi module has the aim to send this data, whatever it is receiving from the Arduino. Now, as we are not using any type of Wi-Fi library, just like most of the people have used Arduino for their projects, and they know that in Arduino there is a Wi-Fi library available. The problem is that we don't have any Wi-Fi library here. So what we'll do, we'll work with this Wi-Fi module using AT commands. Okay, so once if you see, this is what the AT command examples are available with ESP8266. So this is a ESP8266 AT command examples are freely available on espressif.com. So all these commands helps us to connect with the your ESP8266 to the internet, then through the TCP/IP, and to upload the data to particular host. Okay, so let me see how the code is going to work. So already code is there. So whatever these strings are there, that will look afterward, but before that I will see what is the setup is there, and then we'll see what are this all other values are here, and then we'll move to the loop. So what we would like to do, first we would like to connect with this Wi-Fi module. As we see, this module is already connected with the TX and RX pin. What it means that whatever the serial port that we have with the Arduino, it is directly sending all this data to the Wi-Fi module. It means that whatever the serial.begin or serial.print, anything that you write or read, that is either to the Wi-Fi module or from the Wi-Fi module. Okay, so you'll see here, there is the first line that we have added here is the serial.begin. Okay, so this is what the serial.begin we have used. Remember that Wi-Fi module better works with the 56,000 and above baud rate. So now we have selected the 1,15,200 of baud rate. Okay, so with this speed, the Arduino and your Wi-Fi module is going to work. And now we are sending the first command, that is the AT. Okay, so what actually it means that if your Wi-Fi module is connected with any, whenever your Wi-Fi module is connected with your Arduino, and if you send the AT command through the Arduino to a Wi-Fi module, then it sends OK. So in a reply, your Wi-Fi module sends OK. So actually, I have not added any instructions or command here. So you can also check whether the serial.read is OK or not. Likewise, you can add the different instructions so to check the errors. So if your connections are okay, as you are not going to do any changes in the connection, so due to this it will not throw any errors. So once we send the A2 to your Wi-Fi module, then it sends okay. It means that it says that okay, I am ready to receive the commands from you. Okay, so it means that this Wi-Fi module is going to act as a slaveware and due to this it is going to accept all the commands from your Arduino. Then we are going to wait for 10 milliseconds to get the response from your Wi-Fi module. And now next, what we are doing, once we are ready with the our Wi-Fi module, that it is ready to connected with the Wi-Fi or to get the data from your Arduino, then we'll connect this Wi-Fi module to access point. Here access point means we are going to connect with the some hotspot. But as we are doing this virtually, everything is virtual here because your circuit diagram and everything is virtual here. So what we'll do in a Tinkercad, there is a facility to create a virtual hotspot or the access point. So for that purpose, we have created here the virtual access point with the name SSID is a simulator Wi-Fi. Okay, the name of this virtual Wi-Fi or hotspot is, or the gateway you can say, it is a simulator Wi-Fi. And the password now presently I have kept blank. We can keep any password. If you would like to keep a password 1234, you can keep that password. Okay, but now presently I have kept the password a blank, and the SSID, the name of my hotspot or the virtual access point is simulator Wi-Fi. Okay, now what we have to do, so to send the data to our cloud, first what we have to do, we have to connect to one of the router or our access point, correct? So therefore we have written here the first instruction, that is serial dot, so serial dot println AT plus CWJAP. And what is the format here? AT plus CWJAP is equal to SSID, and the password is there. Okay, so this is what the actually command we have to send to your ESP8266. So what the ESP8266 will do, it will search for SSID with the name of simulator Wi-Fi, and whichever the password is given, then it is automatically connected. Okay, but this is what the actual format the ESP8266 manual has provided. But as we are using it in a C language, so we have to provide it in this format, that is AT plus CWJAP equal to slash, then this double quotation, then SSID. Okay, because we would like to send this double quotation also, correct? But this in C language, this double quotation is not going to understand. So what we are using, the slash here. So this slash will convert this double quotation as a character. Fine. So this is what the format we have that we are going to send. And after this instruction, we are going to send this /r/n. But we know that in a Arduino programming, there is already ln provided. That is a print, and the print ln is there. So ln means it is nothing but this /r/n. So we don't need to write this /r and /n in the code. Okay, so we are not going to write this one. Fine. So we are just sending this AT plus CWJP, then SSID, and then password. So this is what the AT plus CJW. So this is the string, and then again another string added here, that is the SSID, this one, and then we have a password is. Okay, so that is the same thing that we are having here, that we are sending here. So if you go to this manual of ESP8266, so yeah, so it shows here, this is what the format. So AT plus CWJAP SSID password is there. So actually JAP is what, the join the access point. So through which we are joining this our virtual Wi-Fi model. Correct. And once you connect with this access point, now we have an internet, correct? As we can say that if your laptop is connected with the internet, then automatically this Wi-Fi module starts accessing the Wi-Fi through this access point, okay? And then you would like to connect with this host. So we would like to upload this data on this ThingSpeak. Now if you see here, there is a API keys available here. So if you click on this API keys, there is an option here, that is a get. Okay, so what is the format here to write the channel data? Get, then HTTPS, then colon api.thingspeak.com, then slash update question mark. I hope it is visible to all of you. So it is HTTPS api.thingspeak.com. Okay, so this is the part api.thingspeak.com, and that same we have used here. Look here, api.thingspeak.com. Okay, and then what is the next? Slash update question mark API key. So let me see here. This is the here slash update question mark API key, and then there is a API key, and then field 1, field 2 likewise. So here it is, your API key writing, and then field 1. And if you have a field 2 is there, then we have to write here, and field 2 is equal to its value. So field 1 is written here and its value is there. If you have more fields are there, then just you have to attach and field 2 equal to its value, then again and field 3, then its value, then again and 4, like and field 4 and its value. So likewise you can add multiple fields here, but we know that how many fields we are using in our example. We are using only 2 fields. So our this get statement will be like this: slash api.thingspeak.com slash update question mark API key, then the API key that we have, and then and field 1 equal to 0 and field 2 is equal to its value. So actually it will not be a 0, so there will be some value, that is the temperature value we would like to send here. So this 0 we have to replace with our temperature value, and then again and field 2 will be there and equal to, then there is will be some value, and that value we have to replace with light value, and already this key is provided here. Correct? So let me move to the our code. So what we are here, we are starting with the TCP connection. So we are writing, for that purpose we are writing AT plus CIP start, that is a IP command start, that is, and we are doing the TCP connection with host and with the port 80. So we are connecting with this api.thingspeak.com with the port 80. So by default its port is 80, so we are connecting with this website. Okay, once our module get connected with the thingspeak.com, then we don't need to send this api.thingspeak.com again. We have to just send this URI or URL. Okay, so once we connect with this api.thingspeak.com, then so we can say that our connection with the our cloud is done. Okay, and now our work is what? Once you get connected with the our cloud, our aim is what? You have to move inside into this cloud, and we have to update the value in the field 1 and field 2 by using this API key. Okay, so let me go to our code again. So we would like to send this temperature value and light value. So we have analog read A0 is there, and we are mapping that value from 20 to 3358, from minus 40 degrees Celsius to 125. And then we have a A1 is there. So we are reading the A1 as it is light. So its value will get from 0 to 1023, or around 900 to 800, 900 to 1000 will get that value. Okay, now once we get this temperature value and light value, this both the values we would like to send to this ThingSpeak and through this format. So the format should be like this: slash update question mark API key is equal to its API key and field its, then this 0 has to be replaced with the temp. Okay. So we see here, now we have written here that complete statement. So this is a get. As it is, you have to write it get, and then there is a space. So here is a space. Okay, then plus URI. Sorry, this is a URI we have, because this complete statement is stored with the name URI. Okay, now see here, only this API key is added here. So we'll go here. And what is the API key I have? This is the API key. So I will copy it. I will paste it here. And then and field 1 is here. So with the field 1, I would like to store the data of temperature. And in the field 2, I would like to store the data of light. So you see here, after this URI, that is this one, field 1 equal to, after this there should be a temperature value. So temperature value means, and your temperature value is in the variable temp. So what actually we have to do this, whatever the temp variable is there, this is in the form of integer, but actually this string that we are sending to our ThinkSpeak accept this string format only. So what we have to do is, whatever the temperature variable is there, that we have to convert into a string. So you see here, this is a string we have used here. So what is the complete statement is now, field 1 is equal to temperature value. Whatever the temperature value is there, that will be there. Then plus and field 2. So we have a second field is there. So we have used and field 2. And then we have another string, that is the light. So this one, correct. So again we have an integer value there. So therefore we are converting that into a string. Okay. And then we are telling our client, that is the API thingspeak.com, that whatever the request we are sending, that is the HTTP request. Therefore, we are sending HTTP. Remember that there is a space before this HTTP, so it needs a space. Okay, then HTTP/1.1. Okay, and then host. So what are the host you are assigned? So this is what the complete format is there, by which, and this is 2 times /n/n. Okay, and that we have to send. So once we send this complete line to our ThinkSpeak, then it updates the value into the channel, or you can say it feeds the value in your channel. Okay, in the field location field 1 and field 2. Now before sending this complete channel, sorry, this complete HTTP request, we have to tell our thingspeak.com that how many characters you are going to send. Okay, just like here we are right. Therefore, we are sending first that 80 plus CIP send is equal to the length. So for that purpose, we are calculating the length of that characters. So length is equal to HTTP packet. What is the HTTP packet here? This is the statement that we have created. Okay, this is the statement that we have created. So this is we have stored in the variable HTTP packet. So this HTTP packet is this one. So how many characters are there in this string? So that we are calculating with the function HTTP packet dot length. So whatever the number of characters are there, that is going to store in a variable length. Okay, and now we are sending the number of characters to our ThinkSpeak first. So that is what HTTP plus CIP send is equal to. What we are sending equal to the length. So whatever the length of this string is there, that string will first send to your this cloud. Okay, so it means that this client will assume that there will be a this much amount of or this much number of characters coming from the server. Okay, so it means that it is, so automatically it assumes that these are the number of characters coming, and out of these characters it has to perform some action. So initially we have just prepared one link, and then we are calculating how many characters are there, then that we are sending with the instruction CIP send. Okay, and then we are sending this complete string. So see here, serial.print HTTP packet. Now you'll see here we are not using here /ln because already this /r/n is used here. Fine, and then we are adding some delay to get the response from our cloud, and we are now waiting for 1 second. So after every 1 second we are doing this thing. So the simple code, very simple code we have. So let me see our code, and then we'll try to upload this code. So we are expecting that we should get the data in this channel. So let me see. Let me click on this private view, and we see here we don't have any data here. And this is a temp data. This is a light data. And let me click here. So what we'll do, we'll add here. So what are the data that's sending? Let me check it on a serial monitor. So let me clear it first. So we don't have any serial monitor data. Now click on a start simulation. So you see here, this first instruction is 80. Let me stop here. So first instruction, it is printing the 80, then 80 plus CWJAP. So it is connecting with the simulator Wi-Fi. Then it is doing the TCP connection with api.thingspeak.com with the port 80. Then it is sending number of characters. So 80 plus CIP sent 95. So it means that this string has how many characters? 95. And now if you look this string, how it is sending. So the format is get slash update question mark API underscore key is equal to your API key, then add field 1 is equal to 24, and then add field 2 the 11 value. Okay, so let me change this values here. So here initially temperature value is 25, so let me change it to 58, and let this LDR value is something 400 to 500. So if you click on this code and if you check here, let me stop it again. So what are the values we are getting here? The temperature is 59 and the light value is 677. So let me go to these things. Now you see here, initially whatever the value we are getting, 24. The temperature continuously was 24, correct? And whatever the value that we have received for your light was 11. And now after that I have increased the temperature as well as I have increased the light value. So it is now 677. Let me check here. So what is the value here? It is 677. And what is the value of your temperature? It is 59. Let me check. It is now 59. And with the time, it is showing at 5:25. This data is uploaded. So now we can visualize the data here, and we can, let me again run it. So and again we will check it whether we are getting the data or not. So let me again hit 125, and this light is also full. So let me check. So it decreased again to 11, 20, sorry, 24 temperature, and what about the light? It decreased to 11. So it takes some time to upload the data. Yeah. So now we got, let me stop this. So what is the final temperature there were? It was 122, and 811 we are getting from the light. So now we can visualize this data on a cloud. So what is the advantage is that even we don't have any electronic circuitry in our hand, but still we can execute all these IoT systems in a Tinkercad, and we can upload the data to cloud, and we can visualize them. So there are many possibilities that people can do here. Just like what I do, I send data to the ThingSpeak, and then I access the data on a app. So whatever the app I have shared with you in a WhatsApp, so if you install it, then you'll see that whatever the temperature and light value is there, that is going to update in it automatically. So if you are already performing this task, so what I will do, if you have this code, the circuitry, and along with this code, you just open the account in a ThingSpeak, and in a ThingSpeak, you just go to your channels and in API keys. So whatever the API keys is there, that so I will change in something in that app. So so today I will share that app to you again, so that you can access your own data in that app. So I will add two text boxes there. One will be the for channel ID and one will be the for write API key. So what actually you have to do, you have to just copy this channel ID in one of the text box, and you have to copy this API key in one of the text box, and you have to click on a save button. Once you click the save button, then it will access your data from the ThingSpeak. Okay, so that app you can use for your purpose. So you can also share that app to your students so that you can show how the IoT is working with the Arduino and Wi-Fi module. If you have any queries regarding this task.
So,
Yeah.
sir, I'm not getting the graph on things. Once I run that is
Sir, if you are not getting that,
that is
if you are not getting the data, you have to change in this code. So whatever the key is here, this one. So you just go to your account and into the write API key. You just copy this write API key from here, and in this code of Tinkercad, replace this key with your own key.
okay.
Yeah, do not use my key,
So
otherwise.
this is okay.
Yeah, only this is what the change you have to do.
Okay, okay,
And
sir.
yeah, another thing, your laptop, desktop must be connected with the internet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
in your code,
Thank you,
only
sir.
do this change. Yeah, thank you, sir. Is there any queries from the participants? Yes, one of the participants asking about how we can store the data in MongoDB. So actually, Tinkercad is not providing any type of database, but ThingSpeak is providing it. So what we can do, so already this data is all available there. So what you can do, you can create one app, and in that app you can access the different databases. Just like I'm using the MIT App Inventor to create the different apps. So most of you know already that we can create the different apps through the MIT App Inventor. So tomorrow, Mr. Satyam Srivastava from Siri Kulani is going to give you details about how to create your own such type of applications or Android apps to get the data from your IoT devices. So this is what I think some of the people already installed the app, so they know this is the format we have. So I have created the same app here, then it's programming here. Okay, so everything I have created here. So in this way we can make our own apps by using MIT App Inventor, and we can visualize the data through the cloud. So ThingSpeak is free of cost, and though there is some limitations of free version, but still as a undergraduate students, or even for some application where we don't need much more data, just like for any academic project or any such type of project, just like if you have your own farm is there and where you would like to read some data on your mobile phone, then we don't need any type of licenses there. Okay, so for your personal use, it is free of cost, so you can use it. But for if you would like, but for your commercialization, then you have to purchase it. You have to take the license from the ThinkSpeak. But for your personal purpose, and if you do not have a much more data, then directly go with the ThinkSpeak and take the data into your app. So we'll have a data. So we are going to send our node IoT node data to the cloud through one gateway, and then through our gateway we are getting that data to our mobile app, correct? So that will also help to understand the concepts of the IoT in well manner to the students as well as the teachers. Now what you can do here, you can add more sensors here. There are some sensors available, just like a potentiometer is there. Then here is a switch, so you can add the switch here. If the switch is on, then there will be field 4 or 5 will be there, and that is going to glow likewise. So just like suppose you are keeping this circuitry in a farm, and somebody is going to switch on the say your water pump or any motor, then it will send the high or low value to your ThinkSpeak, and then you have to read that value in your app. So you'll come to know that somebody has started the motor or the pump. So means even such type of application also you can use for your uh, agriculture application. Obviously the applications are limitless. Now there is a read channel feed is also available. That is this one gate, and this is what the read means. What this is a reverse process. So we can read what is the value is there. So actually in my app I am using this read channel feed. So this circuitry is using this write channel feed, whereas this my app that is in the MIT App Inventor is using this read channel feed. Okay. So you have different options here, whether what type of format you are using, either JSON you are using, or so you have to select a particular format, and based on that you have to use the particular get function of your HTTP. But at that time you have to use this API key, that is a read API key. So this will be your reading API key. Okay, so is there any queries from the participants? So I will take some of the queries from the participants, and then we'll stop here.
Those who are having the query, please raise the hand.
Install that. If you have installed that app, then you'll come to know that we are getting the temperature and light data on your app. So let me do one thing here in the circuit tree. So suppose at your end, if you like to add extra devices on this board, so you can, what you can do, suppose there is a, this is a potentiometer we have. So let me use it. And what you can do now, just like this is a one terminal. So let me connect it to 5 volt. Okay. So I'm giving a color to red, and then this is going to be the ground. So it will be the black, and this center line is going towards so we'll connect this line to A2. So now from the potentiometer we are getting the data from to the A2. So simple, what are the changes that you have to do in a code? So just add here the analog read. So we'll have an integer, then we have say pot value is equal to analog read A2 is here, and then so data that we are getting here is in the pot. So just copy this part from here to here. And this replace this with field 3 and this one with the 10. Sorry. So no change required, so just add the lines that you would like to add in your program, and then the string. But now your ThingSpeak must have that field available. So what you have to do, you have to change the channel. So if you go to my channels, so this is what the channel I have created. So if you go to the channel setting, and I will create another field here with the name pot, and then save the channel. I got another field here, so now I don't have any data. So if we run it, it started executing. If we wait for data from the, yeah, now you see here we got the data from the pot, that is the 1000. Now if we rotate it like this, so it is decreasing towards 0. So yeah, it is now decreasing. Again we'll change it, let me decrease it again. So it will again decrease by some amount. So presently it is 555. And it again decreases. Let me increase it again. So sometimes it takes time to load the data. Sometimes very fast it uploads. This is due to the free account with the TeamSpeak. Okay, now it upload. And so it is very well working with the clouds. So this is from my side for today's session. So actually I have planned with the small app development, but I think the time will not permit to develop app. And so we are discussing with the Satyam Srivastava. So we will give you the brief about how to develop the weather station or weather data monitoring app development on tomorrow's. Okay. So if you have any queries, you can ask now. Otherwise, we'll stop here. So thank you for joining the today's session. Thank you all of you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yep. Yes,
Sir,
sir.
please, can I see the code once again that you make the changes by using the bot?
Okay, sir. So this is what the line I have added here. So I have connected my this potentiometer middle line with this AT. I'll share this with you all also. I will update the PDF. Okay. I will share it in WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah, you can again
Okay.
copy it
No
to
issues.
your.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you all of you. We'll stop today. Now you can leave the meeting. Thank you.